Joining me now is Troy Boisjoli. He is the CEO of ATHA Energy. Great to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So a fairly new story to the market. So let's refresh everybody and remind everybody or inform them if they don't really know about it. So largest uranium land package across the three best jurisdictions in Canada, Athabasca Basin, Thalon Basin in Nunavut, and then the Central Mineral Belt in Labrador. You say you've got an aggressive growth strategy. So can you fold it all together for us and give us a snapshot of that?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Large land position, at-scale exploration strategy across the best uranium jurisdictions in Canada, globally, and wrapping around that strong capital markets team, well-financed to be able to execute. That aggressive growth strategy is directly aligned with the uranium macro environment that we see in this emerging uranium environment and market. We've been very aggressive since we came on the market in 2023. We started off with 3.5 million acres of exploration property. Through staking and acquisition, we acquired 92 Energy and Latitude Uranium, significantly matured our portfolio of projects over the last year, and have one of the most aggressive exploration programs ongoing right now, where we're deploying about $30 million into the ground through an exploration program in 2024.
Right, we're going to talk more about that. Yeah. So with Angulac in Nunavut, you completed your maiden drilling program. The team expanded the footprint, and you say you're just kind of scratching the surface, really, of the property. So what are some of the highlights?
Yeah, so Angulac, that's the reason we bought Latitude Uranium. The Angulac project resource of 43.3 million pounds at 0.69% U3O8. First of all, we like the fundamentals. You look at that grade profile, that's very equivalent to, say, Cameco's Eagle Point deposit in the Athabasca Basin. Very simple geology, so we like it from a look-through perspective. Now, the critical path for us there is scale. And so the program this summer was designed to unlock that scale. So we didn't do one infill drill hole. We did 25 drill holes into the program, just over 10,000 meters. Every one of them was focused on stepping out and expanding the footprint, the known zone of mineralization, really with the objective of de-risking the next stage of work, which is resource growth, right? And with that, I've said it before, and it is true. With the work that we've done, what we now understand on this project, and the metal endowment that we see on this project outside of the known resource, that's where just scratching the surface comes from. There's a lot of work to do there. The number of targets that are actually mineralized outside of Lac 50 is at about 90%. I personally have worked on projects across the Athabasca Basin into Northern Australia, etc. I have not seen a uranium project with that high a frequency of conversion from exploration target to mineralized intersection.
Right. Something else you're doing, Troy, in terms of the strategy is you've got the company that has 10% carried interest arrangements with ATHA Energy and with NextGen, where you used to work, and one of the places you work, and also several options deals that you've been striking lately, the last three, I believe, for about $30 million. So could you tell us about that aspect of the strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe I'll start off with the carried interest. A unique thing to our portfolio. We really like it, obviously. We have a carried interest in a portion of NextGen Energy's SW1, SW2, and SW3 land positions, exploration projects. Exploration, when you look at exploration, no one's been as successful as NextGen over the last decade. The discovery of Arrow along that Patterson Lake corridor, very fertile corridor, the southwest Athabasca itself remains highly underexplored but highly prospective. And it's at a stage where they're advancing an asset into production at the final stages of a regulatory process, etc. But in parallel to that, they're also exploring. And so we really like that as an option. It's an option in our portfolio and an option that we like. As it relates to our broader scale exploration strategy, we've got about 4.8 million acres of exploration property across the Athabasca Basin, ranging from underexplored to past producing to currently producing to emerging producing areas within the basin. So real estate in the right areas, land projects in the right areas. We have invested aggressively in exploration over the last 12 months. We've flown more airborne surveys than any other company out there, and that's intentional. And the intention there is to mature the projects to a point where we can rank, order, prioritize the projects that we're going to focus on internally, and then the projects that fall, say, in a 2 to 3 year window out within our exploration strategy, then we have an opportunity to pull exploration value forward through farm-out agreements, and that's where the farm-out agreement strategy comes. So it's a dual-pronged approach that is looking to maximize the discovery potential within the largest portfolio of land within the Athabasca Basin.
All right, makes a lot of sense. And so the company went public in April of 23, and I'm curious how you're approaching the market to get the word out, get the story out, and what do you think the market's perception is of the story? The stock's running nicely lately, for sure.
Yeah, hey, that, as with any news story, that you look at that's both a challenge and an opportunity. Right, and recently we've had the opportunity to have a number of analysts to site, etc. That sell side coverage really helps. Dave Talbot, obviously one of the most respected names as an analyst in the uranium space, had an opportunity to come to site.
Right, so, the head of research for Red Cloud, for those who don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Very respected guy in the uranium space. I value his opinion, others do as well. And you look at that side, conventional marketing. We're really. I spend a lot of days on the road, having meetings, and it's really about just increasing that awareness, getting the story in front of people, because it resonates. Like the strategy that we have, an at-scale approach, filling a space in the market, but also under the macro backdrop that we have right now, which has literally never been better in the uranium space. This is a generational opportunity, and that's why we've tied our aggressive growth strategy directly aligned with where we view this uranium market going.
Right, and let's wrap it up with that, Troy. You've worked in the uranium market pretty well your whole career, you said, so long time at NextGen, Cameco, prominent roles there. So sort of buttress the story with the fundamentals and the overall investment case for the company.
Yeah, the fundamentals have been growing. Never in my career, and I would argue in most people's careers, maybe dating back to the 1970s, has the uranium business ever been fully predicated on supply-demand fundamentals. There's always been a bit of overhang in the market in terms of secondary supply. That's evaporated. True supply-demand fundamentals at a period of time right now where we've seen a significant underinvestment in uranium exploration and asset development over the last decade. So as a result, structural supply deficit moving forward, but the near-term catalyst, and I don't think this can be overemphasized, the near-term catalyst is that long-term contracting cycle that we're entering into. You look at where we're at right now relative to a long-term contracting cycle, it's very analogous to 2006, and we all know what happened to the price of uranium in 2007. So I think we're positioned extremely well within the uranium space, both in the near term and the long term.
Great stuff. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Troy Boisjoli, he is the CEO of ATHA Energy.